Hi guys, it's Louise De Masi. Today I want to show you the progress I've been making on my latest watercolour painting. I'm in the middle of painting a male Gang Gang Cockatoo. You may have seen my previous video where I was painting in the red washes that are on his head. Well, today I've started painting in the grey feathers on his neck. So let's take a look. So this is what I'm up to so far. I've just started the grey feathers on his neck. I've washed in the neck area here with a mix of burnt sienna and ultramarine blue. And then when it was dry, I drew in all the feathers over the top of the wash. Now at the moment, I've wet this feather here just with a bit of water. And now I'm using a darker mix of the grey just to deepen the colour on the feather. And now I'm pulling some of that wet paint up onto the feather above. The feather above is dry. And then I can pull some down onto the little dry section at the base of this feather. And I'm dropping in some Winsor Violet now just to add interest to the grey. And this is the grey that I mix. I mix ultramarine blue with burnt sienna and I get quite a nice bluey grey colour. I can warm it up with more sienna or cool it down with the blue if I need to. The paper I'm using is called Fabriano Cold Press paper. Now I normally use Arches paper, but I had a spare piece of this that I just wanted to use up. So here I'm just wetting the paper with water again. And this is Paynes Grey that I'm using, and I'm just deepening the colour here just to create a shadow on his shoulder. And the reason I use water underneath was because I want the paint to be soft and fuzzy. I don't want it to form any hard edges. And I'm just doing the same thing down here, just deepening the colour with Paynes Grey. So I'm just going to speed this area up. So I've wet that feather there with water, and this is the bluey grey that I mixed. It's a little bit bluer here. Just dropping in a little bit more blue, the ultramarine blue. Just dropping in some water now to create a bloom. I've just done the same thing on this one here. Wet it first with water and now I'm filling it in with the blue-grey mix. And this is Paynes Grey that I just dropped in just to deepen the colour slightly at the top. So water on this one. The bluey grey that I mixed, and then just pulling it up into the dry feather above. A little bit darker now with Paynes Grey. Okay, so water on my paper here. Again, you can see the water. And this is the grey mix. It's got a fair amount of blue in it. And then I just pull that paint up onto the feather above, just to create those separations in the feathers. Some more water again. Some grey. And then on it goes onto the wet paper. And the wet paper just gives me a little bit of breathing room. It means I don't have to rush quite so much. I know that there's not going to be any hard edges forming in my paint where I don't want them. So here I'm just painting the edge of the feather with the grey mix. I'm just working on dry paper here. And on dry paper here as well, and I'm just painting in the little edge on the feather. Washing in this big feather down here. And this is my grey again. Dropping in some of the Winsor Violet just for interest. And that's how it's looking at the moment.